Hey guys, Sean here from stafftreats. Joining us today is the co-founder of Jobflix, Carl. Welcome. So tell us about Jobflix.
Hi Sean, thanks for having me today. So Jobflix is a recruitment platform where talent experience personalized job opportunities through video. I guess the easiest way to think of it visually is Netflix for jobs.
That sounds pretty clear and concise. So I understand that you were in the recruitment industry for a very long time. So tell us about how did you come across this idea and how did you start Jobflix?
So my background has been in recruitment for over 15 years. I've worked across 3 different continents, that be as far as Australia, the US and Europe. And the recurring theme across that experience is that there's a lot of distrust and lack of transparency in hiring, especially from the candidate experience. So with that in mind, people feel like they're blindly applying to jobs and they don't really understand or get a better context of what it's like to actually work there. And with the evolution of the internet and the way data is on phones, that video as a medium is much more viable now to consume. And it's actually the way that the search engine traffic is going. So it was quite an easy light bulb moment in our team where we figured that actually we're answering the same question every time. What is it like to be there? What are the people like that work there? And what traditional job advertisements don't do is they don't stand out. They are one-dimensional in how they explain things, and they don't really give you a full picture like a video can. So if you think about what a picture does for a text of a million meanings, imagine what a video does to a picture. So we wanted to bring jobs to life by showcasing the unique culture, the unique identity of companies. And the way you do that is get the people to talk who work there, what it's like to work there, why I like to be here, what is the environment like. And that's the essence of Jobflix. It was really just to bring the jobs to life. And I like to always sort of catchphrase it in this way. Would you rather watch the trailer or the credits of a movie?
For me, definitely the trailer.
Right.
I'm sure it's probably the same,
for most people.
Yeah. That's really interesting. So basically, you think that it's a great way for companies to express their company culture, to express, to share about, share to the world about the environment of the company and all that. Why this is the best place for a candidate to join the company, right? So what's your personal experience with this idea of matching candidates with companies or vice versa?
Yeah.
Do you have any personal...
Yeah, so obviously working in recruitment for a long time, one of the sort of best assets a recruiter can do on behalf of a company is really promote their culture, promote the life working experience of being there, and actually give the best introduction you can through conversation of what the manager really is aspiring to do with that opportunity. And so this is really replacing that need and enabling recruitment for anybody who's in recruitment, whether you're an agent, whether you're a company, whether you're the candidate looking to apply. Video will be the icebreaker, and it will allow that person to get a better sort of insight into going, do I really want to work there? Is that somewhere I feel I belong? More than just applying for a job and then 6 months later feeling like, this is actually not what I wanted, this is not the environment, but I feel obliged to join because I'm committed to my career. And we want to improve that sense of belonging, and video inherently instills empathy for people, so it's how you can sell your story.
So Carl, how do you think video could impact on the hiring process?
Great question. So video will build empathy stronger than words can on their own. We're not naturally born copywriters, so most of us don't spend a lot of time in creating wonderful stories with our text. So video can allow the experience to be far greater by showcasing and promoting people, showing the environment and embodying that with the culture that they want to promote, that they have as a business. Job descriptions, when they're written, they tend to say things like, we're a collaborative culture, we have a dynamic work environment. But that's so left to the eye of the reader of what that actually means. But if you did a a quick MTV Crib style walkthrough of your office, instantly you know, oh, that's where my desk could be. It's about creating that inception in your mind of, I want to work there. And video will always beat text when it comes to that. And something that's really interesting as a stat is that a reader tends to only remember 10% of what they read. But on video, it's as high as 90% they'll remember, because video has more sensory to your memory. So it can impact just by remembering that identity and that brand of that company far greater than text will.
Very interesting. So it's really about showing instead of telling, right? Yeah,
right.
From using a storytelling format.
Yeah.
Awesome. How do you think AI could help the recruitment industry?
Now this is a point where we're in a moment of time of AI becoming innovative within hiring and in most industries. We talk about it in autonomous driving and things like that, quite obvious to us. But in recruitment itself, the two things that tend to take a big toll on hiring is time and our bias. So where AI can really help is actually improving the efficiency of time. So filtering through profiles and matching is a big part of where AI can really help. So the sourcing part, which is always quite difficult for companies, and it's very, very conceptual, where people have experience to qualify people, but if you set the parameters right, you can get sourcing done really quickly. The second part, which is where a lot of companies and as human beings, we like to gravitate to people that we feel the most rapport with, or the people that remind us of ourselves. And while that's good for certain teams, as a company as a whole, for innovation to really take place, you want to hire people that are not like you, but share the same sort of principles and values. And AI has the potential to really improve that unnecessary bias by setting up front the things that would make this company great, and let AI take care of that by bringing the right sourcing filtering to your business and doing the pre-screening for you, so that when you're then at the interview stage, you're interviewing people that you may have already said no to in the past just because of maybe what school they went to or what brand that they work for that you don't identify with. And that's where biases is controlling at the moment how we make decisions, and AI can actually improve that quite a lot. So with Jobflix, we're creating a lot of algos that are going to improve and enhance that matching based on behavior. And what people tend to do when they look for a job is they look for something that they can do rather than they become. And the reason people leave jobs is because they feel like they're not growing anymore, or there can be a number of reasons, but a common reason is that they feel like they've stopped learning or they stopped growing. So our mission is to really provide aspirational information so that they can not only see that that's something that they would like to do, but it's also something they'd like to become in that job. And I think AI can help speed the evolution of that.
Very interesting. So also there is a human element, like you suggested. So the same hiring manager might have different kind of have the same kind of bias, but over time, when there's a new hiring manager joining the same company, he or she would probably have a different set of bias. I guess AI could also eliminate or bypass that in terms of hiring.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting because culture, while we may have this kind of umbrella culture of our values as what a company stands for, and that's if they've even managed to sort of totem those values, we have microcultures in companies where people will hire, like I said, what's really close to them and what they feel most comfortable with and they feel most rapport with, and that might be right for that person but might not serve the company overall. And I think the other thing to highlight with AI is where I think AI can really power us up is that it doesn't overtake human intelligence in the way that those two combined, I think, is the formula, where AI can drive efficiency and unbiased filtering and things like that, but human intelligence should really be also supporting those decisions and allows us more time to then spend our intelligence on the quality of that experience, right? And I think that's where we don't have time in recruitment to spend a lot of time on quality of experience, and candidates who go through a hiring process often feel quite exposed. They feel quite the communication's missing, and the important things that we care about are neglected because we're dealing with so many moving parts in hiring. And AI and human intelligence together, I think, is really the answer.
Very interesting. So do you think AI would be the future of the recruitment market, and precisely something that Jobflix would be take on?
Yeah, I think it's too early to say exactly where AI is going to replace a lot of the human
and how
part.
Much will be, yeah.
Right, but I think where the magic will happen is where there's that tipping point of where they both work in parallel. And if we can improve the systems and the processes that we use to find people and attract people and recruit people and onboard people, that whole sort of journey from becoming a stranger to an employee, AI can definitely move the needle for that. But I think where the human interaction is critical is we all need connection, and that's where we just need to understand how AI and human intelligence could work together.
Cool. So tell us about the perfect user experience of Jobflix in a few years' time, say 2 to 3 years' time. So as a recruiter or as a job seeker, as a candidate?
Okay, so obviously two-sided market. The ideal scenario is that Sean, in the future, not now, is looking for a job, and job opportunities are presented to you in your own dashboard. You're not inundated with a long list of 1,000 jobs that you need to scroll through. These are very, very personalized and tailored to your aspirations and also your skill sets and your relevant experience, and about giving you that next step in your career rather than always trying to jump and understand where the journey is guiding you. And I think that's what a platform can provide people, is give them the necessary exposure to what is the best opportunities that are in front of you. So we use a very similar grid format, and in there you'll be able to engage with videos and then apply to what you're most excited by, rather than just going apply, here's my CV. So the journey for us is actually reducing quantity and improving quality of your experience with jobs, and therefore you do not need to apply to many, but apply to the ones that count.
As I understand that, a lot of people, including myself, who wouldn't want to be in front of a camera or be on video. So what kind of advice would you give to people like that?
Great question. And I think this is obviously something that we're not naturally trained for, to be facing and talking into a camera. And I think there is a very quick hack, and one of those is to talk like I'm talking to you now. Cameras are here, but I'm engaged with you. So one way you can get your point across is having someone interview you, and that person can be someone else in the company who's asked you 3 or 4 questions, and you can take as many takes as you want just to get the answer right. But what's really important for anybody who's recording is that they don't script this. They don't try and read it off a teleprompter. They don't write all these bullets down. Obviously they want to have a think about what's best that they want to say, but the way that we've broken it down in Jobflix is we call it quick clips, and these really need to be soundbite type, 30, 60 seconds max. You can say a lot in a minute. So really, if you can aim for 30 seconds and less, then you don't have to remember too much, and you can get your main points across. The other thing to highlight when you're recording is that you're not here to regurgitate the job description. In fact, most of the videos that people want to watch are not you reciting exactly what the spec says. If they want to get the ingredients, they can go and look of the role below the video and take more time to understand whether they qualify themselves. But pre-qualification, they want to be watching, why does Sean like working at stafftreats? And as a human being who's being recorded, just talk about what interests you most. And people are actually more comfortable talking about what they like more than thinking about things they have to say. And that's another way that people can record. And then above that, pick people who are the most confident, bubbly, or relaxed in front of camera in the company. You don't have to have every single person jump in front of a camera and
that's
start
for the
answering.
hiring
Right.
hiring side.
So you can actually rotate people that you feel and introduce them over time and start to show them how that's been working for other people and get ideas, but just talk to each other like this. I think that's the main point, and if that's how you're getting started.
So since you worked in recruitment across the globe, do you see Jobflix doing the same in the future?
Absolutely. And The reason for that is because this is about personalizing job opportunities to people and connecting them with an employer. Now, that employer can be based anywhere. At the beginning, we're focused on the UK market, with a lot of the work and talent flows is in the southeast, so London. But as that grows and gets more identity as a brand, then we'll start launching it in other cities and other countries around the world. What we do see, and what we think is quite interesting, because of working in recruitment globally, I've actually seen a lot of people apply to jobs here that are as far as Australia or Hong Kong or China. And they are doing that, but they're having to apply and go and find those job opportunities on the job boards, or the opportunities that are advertised in the local countries that are away from them. And what we want to do is make this accessible. So if you're looking for a job opportunity the other side of the world, you'll be able to find it through one platform. And that's where this could be a very big playing field for us. But as it stands, we're very local, and we're testing and making sure that experience and the transparency of the jobs are really, really high, because we don't want to roll this out to everybody and be weak in that area. We want to be the strongest player.
That's really good to hear. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this episode. Please make sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.